I'm in San Diego, California, little after 8:30 a.m. And our special guest today is Lucy Margadishian. Did I say that correctly?
Yes, you did.
Ah, wonderful. Welcome. You are an immigration attorney and an expert in all things related to expats, correct?
To inbound U.S. immigration.
Yeah, okay. So tell us about the excitement in New York City. Did you go to the wedding?
Uh, First of all, thanks so much for having me on the show. Yes. No, I skipped the wedding I skipped the wedding. Uh, but there's a lot of excitement going on between the Knicks winning, the World Cup being here, and of course the wedding. So
Yeah,
it's just
exciting. Yeah.
definitely exciting times.
So everybody who came got a visa of some kind, right?
Yes. You mean for the World Cup, right?
Right.
Yes, every single one of them had to have clearances and get here with visa, or if they're from Europe, they were all on ESTAs. But it was definitely not without a controversy,
Yeah. So what was the price the same for everybody?
meaning
The visa.
the visa. Yeah, so the Europeans come on an ESTA. So they come in. There's a special program that they get pre-clearance approval, and it gets renewed every I believe 2 years. So they would come in. The Europeans came on an ESTA. The rest of them that needed visas from non-European countries, or any other participants in the ESTA program needed to get um, visas to come here, and most likely got the B visas, including the Iranian team. So they had to get but visas to come to play, because I believe they played 2 matches. Uh, but they had visa restriction, meaning they're only allowed to enter for the matches and then go back to Mexico where they were training.
Got it.
Even the referees needed to get visas, and it was a big deal over Somali ref that came in. He was granted a visa, but then he got questioned by Custom and Border Patrol here, and they detained him for I don't know how many hours, and they sent him back home on the next flight.
So because of a security concern?
Security concern. That's what they cited.
Yeah. So that could mean he has some kind of opinions or involvement with suspected terrorists.
Right. Yeah. And these days, every single person applying for a visa undergoes extreme vetting. I mean, they check everything from like social media to see, anything in the databases for security clearances to make sure there are no like terrorist ties. Um, we advise clients nowadays is like make sure your social media is open for at least 2 weeks before you go for your visa interviews. Don't put anything incriminating. Don't put anything anti-American, because that gets looked closely, and it could result in visa denials.
That's amazing. So, but I guess it's a good thing uh, to understand who's coming in and why.
I mean, to a degree, yes. But also at the same time, I mean, if you've been here for a long time and, you go back home and you want to get your visa stamped, let's say you've been here as a student, you've been vetted once, you were here, you continue on a work visa, and you go home to get stamped and having to deal with these security issues and getting delayed. We have a lot of problems also with the Indians, because because of these security vetting, appointments are out until like next year. So a lot of people are stuck in India because of the security clearances. So it's just another layer of, you know, bureaucracy, if you want to call it, and making it a little harder for people to return to the US.
So let's talk about the impact of this kind of security uh, on employment, H-1Bs. That has it dried up, or is it just it's still happening, but just not as big?
It's still happening. The H-1B is the most wanted or most coveted work visa. It's a lottery because there are only 65,000 visas available, and an additional 20,000 for anybody that graduates with a master's degree or PhD from a US university. So the lottery continues. The quota is always met, but there's been a restriction, $100,000 that was placed last September for anybody outside the US. Companies have to pay $100,000 to get their employees in. And I believe from what colleagues had cited is 85 companies have paid $100,000 to get their employees in. It's a lot of money, and it's hurting smaller businesses that rely um, on foreign talent. Uh,
So
so
here in California, I'm sure in Manhattan also, but California, as you know, is huge. Um, International population. I mean, mega. So who gets that money? It's just the federal government?
yep,
Uh,
Department of Commerce.
yeah, okay. Is there any totals that you know about how much money since this drive to protect, using quotes, uh, and I'm not making any political comment by that. I'm just saying that it's the rule and take it or leave it. And so that money just goes into the treasury, as far as we know.
As far as we know, yes. I mean, the
Yeah.
cases are being litigated. We had one case that the judge ruled in favor of, struck down the $100,000, but then allowed the government to appeal. So now it's at the appellate court, and we're waiting a decision to see whether or not will
Yeah.
continue, the 100K will continue or not.
So when a judge does that, it's not necessarily a political move, but it's a way of the judge, uh, quote unquote, saying that the issue isn't thought through enough. There's not enough clarity, and so they um, put it aside or pass it to another judge.
Oh, no, not necessarily. I think a lot of cases are being litigated right now. And from what I'm hearing from federal prosecutors is their judges are flooded right now with all kinds of immigration cases. Um, and these specific big cases, on the $100,000, it could be viewed as a tax, and that's not really what it's in the immigration statutes for H-1Bs. I mean, and this is the executive order. It's not rooted into the actual Immigration Nationality Act. Um,
Very interesting. Okay, so now the companies that are in need of these people, highly tech oriented, highly educated people, uh, it's the top companies we all know about, Google especially, and 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 the others. And so, are once a visa is granted, let's just say that everything is vetted, done, people are okay. Are they followed once they're into the country, into their jobs? Are they
yeah,
monitored? I should say monitored.
yes. So, and this is been in existence for a long time, but audits are more on the rise now, where Department of Labor and can come in and audit employers. Immigration also can come in to and audit employers. They do site visits, meaning they go to the employer's headquarters. They want to see where the employee is working. Um, if the employee is remote, they can go to the employee's home. Let's say the employee is working from home. They just want to ensure that the job that they applied for is truly what they're doing. It's a bona fide job.
Yeah. So they're interested to know what job they're doing,
What
or
job they're doing? Are they
or
getting
that
paid?
what job they were hired for. Doesn't
Correct.
Do they need to be kept in? Do the authorities need to be kept informed on that person if there's a promotion or a shift or a different assignment?
Well, it depends. So then we have to look and see, is it a material change that would require us to file an amendment to let's say the H-1B. If it's a material change, the job duties have changed substantially, then yes, we'll have to file an amendment. If the employee moves from one geographical area to another that wasn't initially indicated on the H-1B, then yes, we'll have to file an amendment too. So, if we live in a very in a world where there's so much mobility and people work remotely, so they can go from you know one state to the other, and they don't notify the employer that they moved. And we oftentimes find out after the fact that the employee didn't get the permission, they moved, then it becomes a problem, and then we have to immediately go ahead and file all the amendments to ensure that everything is in compliance.
Good. Okay. So has this shifted anything in employment?
I mean, companies are hiring. I am seeing, the H-1Bs are changing jobs. Um, but at the same time, I'm also hearing, and I've gone out and I've asked colleagues whether, in different industries, and HR, I've asked specifically because I've seen a little bit of a stay, like there's no movement. And what I'm hearing is a lot of companies are not planning ahead. They're just waiting. And I think it has to do with a lot of like the geopolitical and everything, geopolitical events that are happening around the globe. I think that affects companies planning. And when they don't plan ahead, they don't plan for hiring people. Um, and also AI, I think, is becoming quite an interesting uh, thing in terms of, is it replacing human labor now, or companies racing and removing, laying off employees and not hiring? I think time will tell. But at the
So
same time,
yeah.
there's also a lot of talent. Like there's a lot of foreign students. Even though this year there was a dip in foreign students applying to U.S. universities, but those that are here that are graduating, I speak with a lot of founders. They graduate, they want to start businesses, they want to stay here and develop their businesses. So that's a positive thing.
Okay. So let's talk more about you. And so um, you relocated to the U.S.
Yes.
From, I would guess, Armenia or Central Europe.
I was from Eastern Europe. I was born in Bulgaria.
Oh, Bulgaria. Well,
Yeah.
okay.
But I am Armenian. I'm ethnically Armenian.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, I've never been there, but uh, as you know, we have a global meeting room here, and I have relations through LinkedIn primarily with a lot of business people, mostly all business people. and I'm on a drive, if you will, a campaign to go around the world and have people on the TV talk show representing every country we could find. Okay. And so that's how I spend my days. And I give it away free, the first one free. And we have a schedule. I'm not giving you a sales pitch here. I just to let you know this is a business, just like you're in a business. Of it could be 1995 for a news brief uh, once a week, or it could be 100 a month, and you get three programs to play in, plus some other goodies. Uh, but the concept here is we want to bring people together in a psychologically safe place. I call the global meeting room, which is this program. And we're not here to tell secrets or do anything untoward or any political thing at all. This is strictly business, and how geopolitics is certainly impacting business, particularly international business. So, in terms of taking a leap here, but just getting your perspective, when I'm sitting here in San Diego, California, and you're in New York, and we have a guest from, say, Bucharest or Bulgaria or Ukraine or wherever, South Africa. Do I have to worry about being compliant? That's a good question, isn't
It's a good question. It depends
it?
compliant
From
from
where?
what from where, right? Technologically compliant,
Yeah,
technologically maybe, I don't know. You
yeah,
know,
it's an interesting question.
yeah.
Someday it'll probably be settled, but right now is enjoy Zoom or whatever,
Yeah.
and while you can. And so I have talk shows all about Asia Pacific and South Africa and Africa and uh, Switzerland and Germany and Dublin and Portugal. And so, and I love that aspect. And it enables me to grow. And I think it enables people who are going to be watching this program weeks, months from now, because we provide global free access, 365, 24/7, free. We don't want to put a toll gate on anything. We'd like to get paid for the PR value and the relationship building aspects that can be rather difficult if you don't have a vehicle like this to talk about your business and about yourself so that people can build a relationship or understand how you could be helpful to them. And so the more conversation we have on difficult topics, but again, not political, strictly business, about how business people can relate to one another through this mechanism. Um, so, what does the future look like for employers, for foreign talent, and entrepreneurs like us? Just
I mean,
a ballpark
yeah.
question here.
I mean, the US has always been, right, the land of opportunity, the American dream. And the American dream is very much alive. So, America is open for business. And if people want to move here, they definitely can, always explore your options. first talk to the right people. Definitely talk to your immigration lawyers, to a corporate lawyer if you want to start business. I think the future is bright. Uh, we'll always get a stream of immigration, and no matter how challenging it could be, I don't think it's deterring anyone from coming to the US. And I've heard even the Gen Zs uh, that are coming from school, of graduating, and they're completely unfazed by immigration. They're very like go-getters, and they want to start their businesses, as I alluded earlier, and it's a good thing. Companies are moving to the US, expanding in the US because we have the largest economy. We have the platforms, we have the market. So, yes, people will continue to come here no matter what.
That's
And I'm
good.
seeing that a lot of entrepreneurs and investors.
So there's a conversation going on way high above where I am in status and in life uh, about changing the rules, like that Canada, US, Mexico has been enjoying almost free trade access. Companies like who are based in China open up shop, have a factory, or do something in Mexico, which is literally 8.5 miles south of where I'm sitting right now. 10-minute drive to the border. I could see it when I get out on at the coastline. Or when I go across the San Diego Coronado Bridge, you can see Tijuana Hills in the background.
I actually went to Tijuana 3 weeks ago.
Was that a fun time for you?
It was very fun, yes. And we ended up crossing the border on foot. 42 global immigration attorneys, which was it was fun.
Yeah.
And it was a
So
very interesting experience for sure. Something that's really every immigration lawyer needs to experience.
so let me ask you a question about that. Were you searched?
No, it was actually, despite the long line, everything was very orderly and the CBP officers were quiet, quite nice and friendly. So it was a, you know, pretty smooth experience. I was pleasantly surprised.
Did they know you guys were coming?
No, no, they did not.
You
I mean,
just
I
all of a
had,
sudden a whole bunch of immigration lawyers coming across.
I went up to talk to one of the officers to see if maybe we can bypass the big line. And he was quite helpful, and he told us the trick about, you could get on the shuttle buses. What had happened is our bus did not, we're on the tour. So the bus company did not submit our information, passport information ahead of time. And given that it's an international group with ESTAs and visas and Canadians and Americans, um, we didn't disclose that. We didn't tell them what we were doing. We just, we really went to see Tijuana and actually taste Caesar salad. Um,
And did you in the original
yes,
restaurant? No,
yes, we were at the
now,
Caesar
so,
Palace. Yes.
so Joanne and I did that about 20 years ago. We haven't been back, not because the food or it was a hassle. Actually, it was a hassle, but we live here. So, um, yeah, we haven't
It was
been across the border by car or foot in 20 years. We get on a plane here in San Diego and go into Mexico City or Baja, down Cabo San Lucas is 1,000 miles
yeah.
at the tip of Baja from where I'm sitting right now. Takes 2.5 hours. So, um,
Yeah,
and
Tijuana was
there's,
very interesting because we also got to see the wall. And then where the wall starts and ends, it was a very emotional experience.
yeah. So, which way is it a prison? That's what some people might joke about, but it's no joke for a lot of people. Um, so the the issues that came out of that immigration convention, I think it was held at the Hyatt Hotel
Yeah.
here. Now I live just behind the Hyatt Hotel. My where I'm sitting, I mean, a condo here is literally 2 blocks from the Hyatt. Okay, and we walk through there frequently to get to the Bay Side. Okay, and there's all kinds of bars and restaurants there, and so it's a major tourist area adjacent to the convention center. Tons of Mexicans, citizens, are visiting with family time, walking through Seaport Village, which is right across the street here. Okay, so very interesting to have that convention here. Uh, so please come back. Bring money.
No, San Diego is beautiful. No, it's they do come. They do come every few years. They bring the conference back to San Diego.
Yeah, interesting. Okay, so let's talk about you and being in New York and the relocation mobility business scene in Manhattan, um, and the cost of living uh, in Manhattan and in the city boroughs. It's huge cost.
Yeah, I mean, big city, big international city, and certainly very expensive.
Yeah,
It has gotten very expensive.
the beat goes on.
But the beat goes on, exactly.
Yeah. Now, again, politics, geopolitics. There's a new mayor, and mayors of there's been extremely liberal mayors in the past, and not so liberal. But everybody's liberal because there's millions of people that need services. And you can't say this comes with a price. You can't get food. You can't get shelter or safety. So the idea that there's the mayor's proclamation about the type of politician and beliefs that he has, it fits right in with a heck of a lot of people who live in the New York metro area. Uh, and it's not as if um, there's a takeover of the far left. There's certainly an influence. Um, People need help. The people need services. Everybody needs safety, clean water, trust trust that the police will keep the streets safe for everybody. Did you run into any of that concern that you know of, being in the business that you're in and seeing the diversity of the crowds currently and in the past few weeks in the city as a result of the World Cup?
Oh yeah, I mean, it's the most exciting place to see the World Cup for sure.
Yeah, it's
You know,
meaningful.
there's every bar, every restaurant, first of all, shows the games. And you walk down the street and you see jerseys from, every country. And we're hosting New York, New Jersey are hosting a few matches, and the final is going to be here. So yes, a little bit of gridlock. And then you see the fans around Penn Station or 42nd Street when they take the buses with their jerseys for the particular teams that are playing that day. So there's quite an excitement. When the U.S. played on Monday. It was pouring rain, but everybody was out. watching. Watching the
Yeah.
match at the bar, like the corner bar around me. It's on a plaza, it has the TVs and people, everybody passes by and stops, and it's very exciting whenever we have these global events, because you have people from every corner of the world
Yeah.
represented, not only in New York, but I think around the country. And I think that's what makes it unique, not only as a city, but we as a country. Because, a lot of it was said online that you could come from a different country, but this is the only place where we're all American. And there's truth to it.
Yeah. So it's exciting talking with you and getting your vibe and understanding the reality, the excitement from having from being right there in the center. Um, Now in New York City, in Manhattan, let's talk about the relocation industry. Um, I was really happy that you attended that meeting I produced uh, a couple of years ago now. And that was the most recent meeting that I produced in that area. Actually, we did two meetings with Ernst& Young at their headquarters across the river. Uh, and Someday I'll come back and do it again, but I've gotten really used to not traveling and just sitting here doing this and visiting people in different countries, as I mentioned earlier. So, as we come to a close here in the next few minutes, uh, I want to give people hope out there who are going to watch this, and there'll be lots of corporate senior level. Let me just give a little understanding here to you and the audience out there. Uh, LinkedIn measures everything. So some of the recent shows that we've done, particularly the more executive senior interview programs that I conducted, have gotten just a ton of eyeballs. And uh, in companies having more than 10,000 employees, uh, LinkedIn measured a viewership, as far as I could tell, more than 30%, somewhere in the low 30s, at senior level within companies having more than 10,000 employees. The largest viewing audience is North and East North America, including Toronto and Boston, New York, going right down to Atlanta and Miami. That whole eastern part of North America is the number one viewing market. Probably close to half is what LinkedIn is measuring these days. But the number two market is Greater London, which is a bit of a surprise. You'd think it would be California, but California, Silicon Valley, San Francisco, all the way down to LA, all the way down here to San Diego, it's 1,000 miles or so. Um, that's number three. And then it tapers off. London, the eastern part of North America, and California is like 75% of the viewers online. LinkedIn measured smaller companies also having more than 100, as low as 100 employees. All right. All the way up to more than 10,000. So that's 70% of the viewing audience. And then, of course, a whole bunch of service providers, whether it's someone like you or me or a realtor or mobility management company, tech service firms. So all this comes with free registration, free distribution, and availability that I push out through the multimedia channels, including all the Meta channels, and of course, LinkedIn and our YouTube channel. But global free access, 100%. We get paid through memberships and advertising sponsors who want to associate their brand with whatever the topic is. And so that's how this has been built since I started the Global TV talk show in March of 2020 when COVID crashed into my 30 years of doing live meetings. So that's my story. Your story is going to be the rest of the time we have here. So, did you study law in Bulgaria?
No, no. I went to high school here, university,
I see. Okay.
college, and law school here.
So you
Law school here in
came
New York City.
you came with your folks?
Yes.
I see. Okay. And uh, were your parents involved in high tech business?
No.
Interesting. So, uh, I don't mean to pry. I just want you to feel comfortable
Yeah.
talking about
Yeah.
yourself, and you're a perfect example of the American dream.
I mean, it is, I look back and I sometimes have to pinch myself, uh, be very grateful for what this country has given me and the opportunity to be where I am because really is the sky's the limit.
Yes. Yeah.
It may even be on the sky the limit nowadays.
Right. You could go to Mars or
Yeah.
wherever.
Yeah.
So let's talk just a minute now about what's next for you. And the world has changed with the immigration issues, cost of living, the threat of even more war. It's and bombs going off. I mean, this is annoying for sure. And something's got to happen to stop it. And we're not going to talk about politics here. We'll just talk about the impact on business. Your business is being impacted by us too. So the mobility business has changed and severely impacted. But I'm sure you've noticed the uplift, the positive, is that people care. Companies are recognizing they got to take care of people better. They have to do things for employees. They have to, I'm on my soapbox for a minute. Companies need to become a learning center, a university to to develop the employees they already have, to do more. Uh, this aspect is in full bloom within the mobility industry, not just in New York or in California. But there's a company that just was formed in Brazil by Jana Chazanowski. It's called RISO and Riso Global. And this is some just free PR, but it's really fascinating. She's formed it with another person, and they practice, strive to give total care to the transferred spouse, partner, and family, not just the employee. The employee is busy doing work and
Mhm.
involved with a sort of a safety net around them, but the accompanying spouse lost. Now, that partner or spouse and family, particularly the spouse partner, they don't have any friends in a new place. They may not even know what they're going to be doing 2 hours from now. Their whole life has changed. That impacts mental health.
Mhm.
That impacts the employee's productivity, and the assignments fail. Costs a lot of money when that happens. A lot of disruption to a life and to business development, if not business maintenance. So this lady, Jana, and her partner, they spend a lot of time taking care of understanding the people that are relocating, and to talk frankly about the risks and what needs to be done by them with professional assistance as well. It's like a no-brainer. And the mobility people are the best equipped to deal with that kind of thing. Wouldn't you agree?
100%.
Yeah.
Immigration, there's such a deep human aspect to it. And I always approach my cases from a human perspective.
Good.
And I understand what these people are going through. It's life changing. It's life changing. And when, people are moving, families, kids, um, you come to a place where you don't know much. You don't know the city you're going to be living in. You don't even know how to open a bank account. So, a lot of times, like, I am removed from that as the lawyer. I do the paperwork, but sometimes I follow through because I want to help those people. So a lot of it is hand holding and white glove service. Uh, but it's so important to approach it from a human side of things, because sometimes client calls you and they're so frustrated and they take it out on me. And I'm like, don't take it out on the messenger. But I understand that, what it is, because, living in this limbo, and when policies change all the time, how could these people plan their lives? So it's definitely that affects people, like, emotionally and physically, or impacting, the primary employees, workabilities if the spouse is having issues. So it's very important that the global mobility and relocation companies actually offer services to make the transition smoother.
Right. Lucy, what's your website so people can find you?
lmaglaw.com, lmaglaw.com.
Great. Thanks for being my guest today.
Thank you. Thank you, Edwin.
I've
It's a
enjoyed it.
pleasure.
Okay. Thank you. So we want your feedback out there. Send me an email, and here it is. Editor, Global Business News at gmail.com. Nice and easy. Come, join us in the global meeting room, the psychologically safe place for business intros, for learning, conversations. Let's build bridges together. Let's strengthen international business relationships. Thank you.